Good morning, guys, and welcome to Gut Place Trains. And today we're going to be adding another turnaround, this time using my two right switches. And I'm going to also make this track go all the way around both tables so I can test out all my switches. So let's get it running. Okay, it's looking good. Now, this switch in particular is one that I've been screwing around with. So I'm going to test it out. And I want to run this train back and forth through it in different directions. The engines are pretty heavy. Those are F3 Williams war-bonded engines that I bought a few years back. Let's switch that switch. Okay, so there's the light end of the train went through, no problem. The engine followed it, no problem. I actually worked on the switch quite a bit the other day, and I was kind of nervous to mess with this. If you'll see right there, that little piece there was bent a little is what I finally figured out. So what I did was I put a little pressure on that plastic pin there, and I just kind of bent that track over to the left. And as you can see, it seems like it's working pretty well now. And that's it. Now we've gone through it in every single direction and for every kind of turn there. Okay, now at this end on the other table there, I've already filled in the all the way around track. But as you can see, I'm filling in now because I put in a right-hand switch there, and I've got another right-hand switch on the other side. So that's a 4.5 inch piece of track. And these are 1 3/8 inch, so that's going to end up being 2 6/8 plus 4 4/8 equals 6, 7 1/4, I think. Yeah, 7 1/4 inches. I can math. So let's get this gap filled in. And this is a good reason that I bought all these little pieces of track when I had the opportunity. I bought, I think I bought 6 pieces of 1 3/4 or 1 3/8, 1 3/4, 4.5s, and 5-inch pieces. And I might stock up on some more the next time I'm up at the store, or I might order some. Now here's a couple 4.5s I'm going to put together too. And I mean, you can actually just figure this out with a little yardstick or a tape measure or something. You know, what are the pieces that I'm missing? And you can just look at the track and see, okay, you know, if I have the track laid out kind of the way I want it, put it together and how much is missing. You know, it's really that easy. I actually have some software that I do this with too, but I actually haven't really had too many problems with that. And every once in a while, the track doesn't want to go together when you first stick it together, but if you let that sit a while and then push it together, sometimes it'll just snap right together. So let's just go ahead and run this train around, test all these switches, and see how it works. I want to make sure I get the train to go through each of the switches in every direction. The reason I wanted to get this done when I did was because the one switch was giving me problems with all of my engines except for my lightest engine. And now the only engine that it balks at is the Williams GP7, or GP9 I should say. I keep saying it's a 7, but it's actually a 9. And what I'll say is this: I looked it up on the internet, and that particular engine is known to have problems with fast track switches. And the other thing is that engine, that was my test engine on an earlier layout that I had down here in the basement before I had carpet. And it took a couple of nosedives, maybe 2-3 nosedives onto concrete. And I kind of wonder if one of those truck sets is a little bit out of true. You know, it might be bent. But so far, I've tried 5 different engines, 5 different trains through this, and you know, it's working fine now. So I'm gonna hold on to that switch for a minute. I thought I would just return it and get a different one, but the only one I'm having problems with is that GP9. I mean, and it looks to me like maybe that's a matter of something wrong with the locomotive now. Now, I will say one thing, like, I do intend to have a raised up area here where this middle section is. I really did not plan to have the right-hand switches where they're at right now. Let's go ahead and switch this and we'll test that train coming the other direction. But I really didn't intend to have them exactly where they're at right now because I want to have a long run down the middle somewhere there so I can have a siding. And so that's in the way for that. But on the other hand, I mean, it does go well there, so I don't know. I'm kind of torn about it now. I'm going to have to think about it. I'm also thinking about adding about a foot to the table on this side, and that would give me room for a couple of sidings there, at least one good siding for a passenger station there. I like this music. And I left those buildings up just so you can get an idea, you know, what this is going to look like. I could clear all that stuff out of the middle there, but it kind of like creates the idea of terrain to me. So you can see the train kind of come around stuff. Kind of get a better idea of what this might look like once we get a little bit more work done on it. Alright guys, well, I like to test things as I go, that way I know if stuff's working or not and what I need to fix. The next thing I need to fix, obviously, is I'm going to have to put some more power drops in here. And if I decide this is the way I want the track to go, I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes, screw the track down, and also run some wiring. So that might be in the next video. But I hope you liked this one, and thanks for watching.